Welcome everybody to the Chicken Coop, where we host, where guests come on to our podcast and they tell us what they do. Today's guest he hosts Desert Drive Live, which apparently got kicked off of Spotify for being too too real and stuff like that. He also has Jack the Burner and hosts a slew of other shows that will put in the link in this description. His name is Kieran Quay, and let me introduce you with the ceremonial. So that being said, Kieran, what I'm like. While I did listen to some Jack the Burner, I loved Desert Drive Live because it gave
Thank
me
you.
so many GTA flashbacks, like the good radio stations, because five, yes, it had good things like Chakra Attack and oh my god, I just said it too, Chakra Attack and Beyond Insemination, but like all the other talk radio stations, all the other talk shows on that were garbage. They were not funny. So what
No.
inspired you to like just go ahead and do that?
Well, funnily enough, Grand Theft Auto was one of many things that inspired it.
Hmm.
But it was actually, believe it or not, the Queens of the Stone Age Songs for the Dead album. It was many, many years ago, and I had just finished school, and my mother was threatening me with paying dig money unless I went to college. So it was a beautiful sunny day in Scotland, which is quite an oddity. And I remember sitting listening to that album. I was going through the prospectus for one of the local colleges, and I saw radio broadcasting. And I remember looking into the Songs for the Dead album, and it was all the little radio cutaways between the songs. And when I was looking into it, I think it was Nick Oliveri had said that it was kind of like a satirical take on the radio that is today. And there was one particular song that has a cutaway, and it's something like, you're listening to Clone Los Angeles. We play the songs that sound more like everyone else than anyone else. And I don't know, it kind of came from there. I was listening to a lot of desert rock, and I just had this idea, let's go to college and do some crazy, like Grand Theft Auto radio station. And yeah, so that was many, many years ago. And I remember that we had a guy come into the college from the BBC, very, very prim and proper BBC, you know. And he had given the class an assignment, and he says, I want you to think of all the popular shows on the BBC, and I want you to do a radio advert for it. So you had folk picking like Match of the Day, which is like all the major soccer games in the UK, EastEnders, which is a really rubbish soap. You'd probably be more entertained washing your eyes with bleach. All the kind of regular stuff, but I always had this kind of thing in life, be the exception to the rule. So I ended up choosing a children's classic, Pingu, and framed it up as some kind of nature documentary that involved like Inuit tribesmen with AK-47s and a Tyrannosaurus Rex attack. It was total absurd, but people were listening, you know. And I think certainly in Scotland, a lot of the radio stations, they are like that clone Los Angeles. They all play the same songs, and they all sound the same. And I mean, I just love American entertainment. You guys do it louder, bigger, and better than anybody else. So I thought, you know, why not? So time went on, and eventually we got onto a community radio station. Now I'm going back to about 2011, and we took on this community radio station, Pulse FM. That was what it was called. And we had the graveyards shift big time. So the guy that did the show before us, he did his show entirely in Polish. And don't get me wrong, there's a good Polish community in Glasgow. But we came on, I think we were between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night. So by the time this guy had finished his show, nobody was listening. It was as good as dead air. So we brought the show on. I think there was 5 of us originally. And basically all we talked about was what had happened in Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead that week. So the show was crap, right? Let's just go right there and say that. If you're one of the original four, I do apologise, but yeah, you could probably count the listeners we had on one hand. But we put on all the kind of fake adverts and stuff. So we had one. It was a fake insurance company called Xsura, and they were doing a limited time deal. If you got yourself insured against alien abduction, you could throw in free coverage against virgin births. Now, I think one night a taxi driver had tuned into the station just as this advert had played, and he had phoned the station the next morning to ask, like, where can I get this? Now, why the guy needed coverage against alien abduction or virgin births, I have no idea, right? But the station, the station manager was livid with us. So he had said to us that you guys are going to have to like tell everybody that this show is entirely fake, which I wasn't really for, because it kind of takes away from what it was all about. I mean, if you're going to listen and you're going to hear that advert and you think it's real, I think you really need to get yourself checked out.
Yeah, right.
So I put on this disclaimer at the start of the show, and it only ever aired once. And it was like a kids' TV show. So it was Mr. Biscuits, right? Mr. Biscuits was a cat, and you've got the kids' TV narrator. Hello, Mr. Biscuits. What's that you've got there? That's not a ball of wool. That's a hand grenade. Goodbye, Mr. Biscuits. Big explosion. The following broadcast is not for pussies. Now, needless to say, as soon as the show had finished, we had, I'm talking all cap locks message from the station manager. Like, what in the living God was that? So, yeah, needless to say, he wasn't very, very happy with my creative approach. So yeah, we had to change the disclaimer. And I had been dating this lassie at the time who was forever telling me that I was immature. I'm sure we can all relate, guys. So it changed to, this show is rated M for mature, which according to my ex-girlfriend, I am not. And we kind of ran for that one for a wee while. And then countless conversations about seasons of Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. I was kind of checked out after that. So I think I stepped away from the Community show around about 2014, and it has been dead ever since. And for the last year or so, I've kind of been thinking I need to get a project on the go. Like, there's something missing. And yeah, I came across multiple little artificial intelligences, shall we say, that made the process so much easier. So I brought it back, I think July, with episode 1 was launched onto Spotify. And you're right, I get kicked off. I think it lasted 4 days. I get kicked off. And they claimed it was for copyright reasons. So there was a bit back and forth, but I pointed out to them, every single piece of music that you hear in the Desert Drive is made through Suno AI. And I pay a subscription for that. So I own the rights to every piece of music. So I went back to them and I says, like, all the music, I own it. So unless I've reported myself, like, I don't really see how you can take it off. So it's a bit back and forth, and I think after about a week or so, they let it back on. And I think there's been another 2 subsequent episodes since, and there's been no issues. So yeah, I long road for a shortcut there, but I suppose that's a crash course in the history of the Desert Drive Live.
Fair enough. I mean, like, I can see why they were just so, like, because if you said the music was made with AI, because I'm very anti-AI, for the record. Like, if I'm going to use any music, I go through non-copyright sounds. I look for the best music that I could use, and then just plop that in there, and give credit, especially when I'm making with, especially when I was making the fake radio stations for video games that I was creating at the time. At the time, before TikTok became a thing, there was a thing I actually wrote up called TikTok Radio. It was a news thing where they would just report on all manner of weird shit. Matter of fact, the I think I was coding this, but I don't think I fully implemented it. Um, um, there would be a weather station, a weather segment where the in-game weather would change based on what he's saying. So,
All right.
for instance, like if you're tuning into that radio segment, it's like, oh, it's raining comets. Comets would rain down for for X amount of seconds. But
Sweet.
yeah, point I'm trying to make is like I say like all of the music that I use was non-copyright sounds, copyright free jingles from free SFX, etc., etc. Um, so I mean, but like still, I gotta admit, like some of the news, like the news broadcast of the opening of Desert Drive, that was legit
Tre-
good.
Trent Magnum. Yeah, I kind of felt episode one. For anyone listening to this that hasn't listened to the Desert Drive Live, skip episode one. Episode one was a pilot, but I'm doing all the voices myself, and there's only so many voices that one guy can do. So I kind of looked into it. I mean, I get a lot of people say like, "Oh no, AI and stuff," and I get that, right? But anyone can go on to say ChatGPT, and they can say to ChatGPT, make me a funny advert for the radio for like a fake company, and it'll come out with it. But the companies on the Desert Drive Live, if we've got what is it, Blackwall Keep Home Security. So it's like medieval home security, and they've recently brought out the Dark Sorcery door cam with the Legion of the Dead activation. It's completely bonkers. But I remember I was just lying there at night, and I'm going through my head. I'm like, right, I've got Hank's Mystery Meat, right? So catering's done. Exura, we've brought that back. So I've got an insurance company. What other kind of absurd companies do I need? I'm thinking home security. And I think what was that? I think I'd been watching Kingdom of Heaven or something like that. So I had all this medieval stuff in the back of my mind. So I took that and I goes on to ChatGPT and I says, right, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a home security company, but instead of dealing with like alarm systems and stuff, we're talking portcullises, drawbridges, angry beavers and a moat kind of thing. And lo and behold, so as much as I can understand people kind of being against artificial intelligence, I think it depends on who you use it. I think it can be a good tool for kind of reinforcing creativity. But I think if you've got the initial idea, ChatGPT can be a really good tool to push it forward. Yeah,
I actually agree with that. I'm a content creator, I guess, as well. I'm a virtual YouTuber, and I use Suno for a decent amount of my stuff too. I feel like it's weird because I'm against the whole idea of AI. Like, oh, we don't need artists anymore. We can just create things with AI. It's like, well, no, you still need artists, but I feel like it's kind of one of those things where like 20 years ago, people were like, Photoshop isn't real art, but now all artists use like photo editing and Photoshop and stuff, and artists are going to learn how to use this new tool, and artists who use AI are still going to be better than people who just like use AI by itself. Uh-huh. So I don't think it's going to like completely invalidate artists, and specifically for like Suno with music and stuff, I feel like as long as you're not trying to pass it off as like real music that you made and like you're trying to hide that it's AI, I don't really think it's a big deal, especially for like sort of joking like advertisements and little funny songs that you're only going to play like once. I don't know. I like it. I like your approach. I mirror that. So yeah.
Sorry.
You okay?
Sorry. Just finished Ralphing. Like
I coughed up a lemon.
Like I told you, Kieran, Gabe and Robert don't know this. A friend of mine actually passed away this past Tuesday.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, last night we had a kind of a wake form, and I look and feel like shit. Hence why my camera's not on. Um, but I was listening during the Ralphing. That must be important because Gabe's kind of right. I know it'll seem hypocritical for the shit that I use AI for specific reasons. Number one, I'm gonna make them for generating thumbnails, video descriptions, and tags. Thumbnails make sense. I'm not going to bother any of my animators to actually create a thumbnail. They have infinitely better things to do. That's not to say we'll have them. For instance, we're trying to get shows like, for instance, we put some of our projects on Film Hub, Amazon Prime, and they needed portraits. That I'll have our animators make thumbnails for because that's more prestigious. It's more official than a fucking YouTube thumbnail. Video descriptions and tags, again, not gonna bother fucking writing a description when AI can generate the thing. The only other thing that I'll use AI for is for voice alteration. When I'm doing the presidential experience, which is an animated series where the sitting president makes an unscripted rant, and while I can do decent impressions, I want AI to basically do the better, like, try to get a one-to-one comparison. For instance, the last presidential experience cartoon we made was Trump bragging about his ass, his big, beautiful butt. And while I could do a semi-decent impression, Fire Voice can actually take that voice and make it more Trumpy. So, I'm not going to say, while I am still, the only reason why I say I'm anti-AI is because I don't want it anywhere near the animation process at all. But I'm not going to complain if you use it for something like music, because we don't have a music guy and a music person, excuse me, so I don't necessarily have a leg to stand on. Though, there is all of that. But some of the, I love the when you were talking about the medieval security system commercial. Because I actually did make a bunch, I did make a bunch of radio commercials regarding, from everything involving Jerry and Jerry Law Group, where, oh god, I can't believe I wrote that. I'm so weird. Like, one of the Jerry and Jerry Law Group got me off both figuratively and literally. I did not touch that little boy at the gas station. I touched that little boy at the grocery store. Completely different. It was, I was parodying ADT and I called it ATD Security, and it opens up with a huge Hitman Codename 47 reference, if any of you played the Hitman games.
Oh,
yeah. Ladies all like, I came back and saw that someone had that there was this bald pale person with a barcode tattoo stealing all my Nazi pornographic paraphernalia, and he killed my sister. And then this goes on to talk about 18. But I gotta ask. Okay, so you say, do you I exclusively aim for a mature audience, especially considered with adult silly humor. Do you do the same?
Yes and no. I think I'm a Glaswegian. Every second word we say is an expletive, right? So I was trying to keep it somewhat family friendly. I didn't want YouTube to kick me off right after Spotify, so I try to keep it. We'll maybe say crap and we'll maybe say shit, but I think I'm just trying to keep it to the diet expletives, as I would call it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna use expletives in like every other sentence, in all honesty. But the subject matter that I tend to tackle, But then again, that also goes to, because comedy in general, right? With how times are the way they are right now. I mean, I guess we can. I don't know if we should talk about it, but whatever. We're here now. the way I tackle everything, right? I tackle everything as best I can in terms of I don't mind making fun of alcoholics, even though that's a taboo subject matter to do right now with all the nuanceness. Because people are saying like, "Oh, you can't make fun of that," and I'm just like, "Yeah, you can." They're like, "Absolutely, you can." I understand there's subject matters that you can't like touch, but I'll still make fun of kids. Fuck it, because they're ugly, annoying little pricks. But so like the reason why I'm saying this is I'm asking, like you say you want to tread as light as you can, but like, do you still want to like say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna tackle this subject because from what I was listening in Desert Drive Live, there's not that much of, yeah, you know what I mean?
No, I think. Well, I think. I mean, I think my kind of ethos to it. You look at the news any day of the week, and it's all doom and gloom. So I think the Desert Drive, I try to keep away from like real world things, and I just try to. It's kind of like the same thing that the Grand Theft Auto stations do. It's just holding a cracked mirror up at the kind of satire, like current society.
Yeah.
So I try to keep real world figures and real world events out of it. It's more just kind of showing the absurdity of it all. But there's certain things I can't go into because of my actual real world job. I'm not really allowed to have any political opinions. If I had any, I mean, if the Desert Drive was to kick off and I could patch my job, then 100% I'd go into it tooth and claw. But it's trying to keep away from it. I think it's all supposed to be this satirical world. It's not supposed to be like the world we're inhabiting. I think the whole idea like around that was Jack's. If you look at pictures of Jack, right, I'll let you in a wee secret here in your audience that might be listening to, right? If you look at pictures of Jack, he's always holding like a kind of walkie-talkie type radio. So there was always going to be this backstory that was only ever alluded to. It was never going to be said outright. That Jack had somehow found this kind of Area 51 style technology or something, and he thinks that he's like, you know, broadcasting to people in the desert, but he's actually kind of like a multiverse type thing. We're actually receiving his signal here, and we're getting like an eye into this bonkers world that's like out with our own. But yeah, so I try to keep away from the real world things. I don't want my audience to kind of get into the doom and gloom, the kind of real world. You're just supposed to listen to it, and it's an hour of absurd fun and just a good old time, you know.
I understand where you're coming from. Well, go ahead.
No, I was saying that's a cool approach. It also prevents your content from really feeling aged, because like if you do sort of political stuff, it kind of ties you to whatever, I guess, time that we're at. But if it's completely separate, you could go back and revisit it like 20 years from now and it's still funny. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, and we'll still kind of touch on it. So I think in episode 2 we have an advert for a politician, Jet W Money Snake. But given, I mean, I don't think it matters where you are in the world, but Jet W Money Snake could be any politician, like anywhere. Yeah. So as you said, it's kind of like a timeless thing. Everybody can relate to it. It doesn't matter where you're from. Jet W Money Snake is all politicians, really.
Amazing name.
A name you can trust.
Oh, go ahead.
A name you can trust. Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I would suggest that you do take like either real world figures and put them in like scenes. For example, I'll give you an example. Like forget the Trump's ass, big beautiful butt cartoon. One of the things I absolutely loved doing was taking other presidents and like, for instance, I took Bill Clinton originally because I didn't involve him into his own character. He did, but like originally when me and he's not here right now because he's at a friend's wedding, I think. His name's Kevin Bradley. He couldn't make it. I don't think he's gonna be able to record with us for like a week or something. Anyway, me and him, he was doing a let's play of Sifu, and I usually like come up with like random skits. This one had Bill Clinton running around with Scooby Doo and the Mystery Machine, solving mysteries, and like I made him Bill Clinton like a fucking like a pot smoking womanizer, and this is when the Bill Clinton giggle originated, where he just goes, he's just talking, and then he ends everything with. I love that character so much that I made him into his own thing. See, I called him Bill Clinton's completely unoriginal, completely unrelated body double and marijuana advocate, Will Blimpton, and he's amazing. He hosts what's known as East Village's cheese cutting ceremony, and you heard about it on the radio station with TikTok radio before TikTok became a thing. And oh my god, it's not just him. It's not just him. I was like, what if you took Barack Obama and he became super arrogant and full of himself after leaving the White House? And like some kid goes up to some guy's like, "Hey Obama, why don't you smoke this?" He's like, he smokes it. He's like, "Fuck, this is bullshit. I got the Jamaican connections. Get out of here with that." Mr. President, can you give me an autograph? Hell no, you little shit. I don't do autographs. I do executive orders. I'm Obama. Just. But yeah, you should try that. Like, it's absolutely it's amazing to say the least. Oh man,
there's definitely scope for it in the future. I mean, there is. I'm trying to do like in episode 2 we have Terry the Tiger, so it really applies to the UK. So years ago there was a sugar legislation brought in. So back in the 90s it used to be brilliant. You know, you'd get like cartoon characters on cereal boxes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But since the sugar legislation, you don't see it anymore. Like, everything's really, really bland. Like the kind of thing nowadays with all these logos and stuff that don't look like logos anymore. Like Jaguar, I think, is the most recent one that springs to mind. Where's the Jaguar? Yeah. You know, it's just a word. So I try to do like Temu versions of these real world characters. So instead of Tony the Tiger for the Frosties, we have Terry the Tiger. Instead of Batman, it was the Nocturnal Possum. And I think I put up a thing recently on the Facebook as to who people would want to see in the next fan mail. So it was a cross up between Chronic the Hedgehog versus Maurizio Barganelli and Sewer Sensei Stan, who's really like Master Splinter from the Turtles.
Yeah.
So I try to keep to these 90s kind of icons, but like Temu versions of them that have fallen on pretty seriously bad hard times. And they'll get their advice from Jack the Burner. And I think the episode 2 we have Terry the Tiger, and I put up on the Facebook like a before and after. So before he's kind of living in squalor in this council flat in Swindon. And he listens to Jack, and Jack gets him back on track, and he plays him like a pure 80s style, like action movie montage music. I think it's called The Roar Within. And I would absolutely love if we could get animators to animate Terry the Tiger's montage from going from that council flat in Swindon to, you know, having those gains. Fantastic.
Yeah.
hire us. But like, no, but in all seriousness, like, I love, like, I like that, because like that's some of the things I do as well. But like, I don't like, how do I put this? Because yes, I will have like parodies of stuff with whatever I'm writing, but sometimes I just go all in on like full on like take SpongeBob for instance, right? SpongeBob is my go-to whenever I want to like make funny shit. And I don't rename anything. I don't even animate it. I just talk about it while we're like doing let's plays or what have you. For instance, I had Squidward. I had Mr. Krabs being a racist towards sharks. I had Plankton getting a divorce. I had one of my favorites was Patrick the pervert, like because the mermaid he was crushing on hard, which was King Neptune's like daughter or whatever. He literally is all like, she's like, how can I repay you for helping save Bikini Bottom? Patrick's all like, why don't you take it off for Daddy? The newest pair. I had a dream about this. I jotted it down in my dream journal because I have to flesh this out. I had a dream where I saw Squidward being a pimp. He's like,
You never told me who was his bottom bitch.
yeah, I don't know. I never figured that. But he's just like like it's so weird. Like I could so see him just like rocking like a fucking like suit, pimp, like a cane, a tie, and he's just all and he go like one coworker actually suggested that I say like that his name is like a pimp named Squidward because she loved the Boondocks. And I have to flesh this out, but like I'm going to eventually. But yeah, like I could so see I can't not see Squidward as a pimp. I can't, because he looks like one. Like just picture Squidward right now. He's got the body of a pimp. He does. Tell me I'm.
So instead of a brown shirt, he has like a fucking chinchilla jacket.
He has multiple arms for pimp slapping.
Yeah, and then he has a chinchilla jacket, and he has 4 Timberlands on.
Exactly. But yeah, like no, that's just sort of.
And he's just like, SpongeBob, where's my egg and cheese?
Why do these parties have crabbies?
Yeah, right. It's like this is traditional with all this.
I mean, the Krusty Krab sounds like a skeezy pimp joint.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like a horrible burlesque shop or whatever. Like it's a sad day.
Oh man, but yeah, you.
I mean, and it sounds worse if the jump bucket across the store. It's even worse.
And that's how it spreads.
Or the Chum Bucket is an adult toy store.
Nah,
Ew.
I can see the Chum. Nah, I think the Chum Bucket's like I can see the Chum Bucket being more like Goodwill, just a place where you sell used clothes. Oh, Doug, it's secondhand. Fuck you. I'm never calling it secondhand. It's used. Okay, it's used. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
What a used adult toy store?
It's not an adult toy store. They come pre-seasoned.
Oh man. But yeah. Good Lord, look what happened here.
And you are a Bikini Bottom. Like all the stuff is right there, right? Like,
it is.
Writes itself. Writes itself.
It is. Anyway.
and it's like you know how SpongeBob got that pineapple? Someone used it on a surface world, not in the traditional way.
True. Okay, but like moving on. It's not just Desert Drive Live that you do. You also have other stuff going on. Can I talk about the other stuff as well?
So I was we're going back to AI a wee bit. I was trying to do a bit of a comic book. So I get 2 chapters in. I basically had to call it quits. It's called Sentinel Blood and Code. If you go into Global Comics, you can get the prologue for free. It's very Judge Dredd-esque, but it was supposed to get hella violent from chapter 2. So ChatGPT kept hitting me with a brick wall, and I was trying to think. I was trying to think of really good ways to get around it. So people were saying it depends on like how you word it. You can trick it into like doing it for you. So I was thinking about making transparent like background images. So for instance, we had two characters. There was Kestrel and there was Clay, and Clay was just going to be like bad to the bone, right? So I wanted a couple of scenes of Clay basically turning people into Swiss cheese. And I was trying to get ChatGPT to create the images, and I was trying to get really creative with how I was putting the request in. So I think I would say things like, oh, he's firing his sprinkle gun, and the confetti, red jammy confetti flies out of the bad guy's skull. But yeah, it didn't really come out the way I wanted it to. So,
what did they give you? Like ketchup?
I suppose it kind of looked like a cross between a horror film and an advertisement for a new Cornetto.
I kind of like, I don't know, because I've had similar stuff with ChatGPT too, and I don't know, it reminds me of like how kind of old Ren and Stimpy, way better than like their weird MTV remake because they had to censor themselves a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if you sort of try to skirt around making it like hyper violent, then you get like this weird kind of pseudo violent thing. And also it almost makes it like kind of weirder and more violent in a sense. And so I kind of enjoy having to skirt around those limitations and trying to, I don't know, like you can tell what's going on here, but it's a little weird.
It's definitely quite challenging. I think
Yeah.
I went on to Grok because I heard that Grok's a little less kind of restrictive.
Uh-huh.
But the image generation on Grok, I don't think is a patch on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is quite good for. I had to train it on like recognizing certain things, so like different armor sets and the guns that the Sentinels would use down to their bikes, the city, the world. So it took me a good couple of days to kind of get ChatGPT to understand all those things. So that any images that were generated kind of felt like things would look the way that they were supposed to look, and it wasn't just kind of random every time. But yeah, it was quite difficult. So I kind of threw the towel in a wee bit. I might go back to it, but I think just now I'm just kind of honed in the desert drive. I'm enjoying being back in the field, boys. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, with how fast AI, specifically ChatGPT, is like evolving too, I'm sure if you revisit it in like a few months, you might get like better results too. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
I just find it remarkable. I mean, like what we were saying about the Suno stuff. Some of the music that's coming out with is just it's sensational. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, it's crazy.
I think I've actually spent the last couple of months listening more to tracks that I've made on Suno than the actual music that's on my Apple library.
I've done the exact same thing. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy too because it's cool that Suno gives you it gives you like the split where you can like isolate the vocals and keep the music too.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, you could even just like go back and like recover it with a like a real singer or yourself. Like it's pretty cool. I like using it a lot.
It's amazing. I did try the stem thing. I like really heavy doom metal, right?
Yeah.
I kind of generate a lot of that stuff, just really sick, heavy bass lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this one out of it, and oh man, it was it was magic. So it was. And I took the stem from the bass line and I put it through another program that could break down tablature and present it on screen. So I whipped my bass guitar out to play it, thinking, no, this is going to be like really complicated. But in the typical doom metal fashion, it was actually all 3s and 5s. It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of cool because especially with Suno, the more you use it, if you keep referencing like your own stems and the stuff that you've made, like it really kind of becomes your own sort of style. Like the more you use it, start sounding different than just like the random stuff that people make with like their first couple tries. So it's pretty cool. I'm a fan of it.
The potential of it's absolutely it's limitless.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember a game back in the 90s, Soul Reaver.
Yeah.
Well, I took just to test it, right? I took a piece of music from Soul Reaver and I put it into Suno just to see what would happen. And what was it? Was it I think it was Sunlight Glyph is the piece. And I took it and I put it in a Suno, and it no longer sounded like it came straight off a PS1. Honestly, it had like Gregorian chanting in the background and like war drums and stuff, and it was sick, man. Like it was cool. So good.
Yeah.
I would never be able to publish that piece, obviously, for copyright reasons. But there was just a little kid inside me that was like, I wonder what this would sound like now.
Yeah.
Magic, awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry. Stomach is riling up again. But it is like there's so how do I put this? So you said it was inspired. Well, it was Dread-esque. So what are we talking like? Mega cities, but outside the walls, it's a nuclear wasteland.
Yeah, pretty much. So the prologue starts off talking about how basically humans destroyed the planet and made it uninhabitable, and then they create these AIs called the architects who construct things called the bastions. I think there's 7 bastions on Earth, and essentially it is the idea of a mega city, but kind of cyberpunky. So in the centre, you've got like all the rich folk, and then it gradually becomes like more impoverished the closer you get to these things called the Titan Wall, which surrounds the cities. You get these sentinels that are like kind of, enhanced superhumans picked by the AIs because of their genetic code, and it's kind of got touches of Half-Life and stuff in there as well. People aren't allowed to breed. The AIs will select like the best genetic candidates to do so, and so on and so forth. And yeah, outside of the Bastion walls, it's like just basically a dead zone essentially. Very Judge Dredd inspired. I think originally I could see it as a video game, but yeah, I don't think you can really approach big video game industries and be like, yeah, I'm nobody and I've got this great idea you want to hear. There was it Judge Dredd versus Death? I think was the last kind of Judge Dredd game back in the PlayStation 2. And it was awesome. But playing like Cyberpunk and stuff, like they didn't even have a Judge Dredd reference in it. So I think that's kind of how it came about. It'd just be sick if you had like a kind of open world Judge Dredd-esque game where you play your own kind of judge, but it couldn't be Judge Dredd, so it became Sentinel and slightly changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would absolutely play that.
Oh, that'd be sick. Could you imagine it for me, right? A VR game where you can actually like tell your gun incendiary and you hear it come back incendiary. You know what I mean? That'd be sick. I don't understand how no one's picked that up yet. I think is it Rebellion? I think the guys that do Sniper Elite and whatnot. I think the other ones that have the rights to all the 2000 AD properties. It blows my mind that they haven't decided let's make a AAA Judge Dredd game.
Sometimes they'll just they'll just have the rights to sit on the property so no one else can. Good example. And this is one of the reasons, and this is the main reason why I hate Konami. Why I won't buy any Konami property. So Konami, the company behind Metal Gear, Castlevania, etc., etc. They bought a company called Hudson Soft. Hudson Soft created Bomberman, Bloody Roar, Bonk. Oh, Bonk, I want you back so badly. That platformer was amazing. And they bought them up, and they essentially just sit on their IPs not doing anything with them. And that pisses me off because some of their games, again, bonk, a platformer about a caveman going through modern times. It's stupid, but it's so anime cute. It's fun. But no, they won't do another bonk game because can I? Another thing that fucking. What else? Who else sits on like a bunch of shit? Oh god, I mean, well, yeah, EA. They won't do anything with Syndicate anymore, and Syndicate was like a Syndicate was like a strategy game, and then they made it into a FPS for no reason, and then they're just like, yeah, we're not doing anything with Syndicate, bastards. Another reason why I hate EA.
Square Enix as well. Just going back to Soul Reaver, they sat in it for ages. I was one of the many that were like, they were just pumping out Tomb Raider games, Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy, and you know there was tons of us calling out for it. And then I can't remember, was it not a Scandinavian company that bought it back over? I think they've been acquiring quite a lot of IPs recently. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but they brought out the Soul Reaver remaster just last year, and from what I hear, that's not too bad. I think it exceeded what they thought it was going to do, so it gives us hope.
Anyway, but yeah, that's just the stupid corporate world. That being said, we are coming close to time. If you want, check out Kieran's stuff. It's linked in the description below. And yeah, Kieran, do you have any? Do you want to send off the audience?
Well, thanks for having me on, gentlemen. It's been emotional, and episode 4 will be up in just a couple of weeks. So just remember, Desert Drive Live. Turn the dial. Find trouble.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Hold on, let me try to English. That being said, thanks everybody for tuning into the Chicken Coop. You can don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. You can listen to us on Amazon Music, YouTube, and Spotify. You all take care. Later on.